Welcome back. It wasn't that long ago the electric vehicle was touted as the future of the automotive industry. That may still happen, but not at the speed that people were expecting. Demand from consumers appears to have hit a ceiling as many consider options like hybrids. That's leading many automakers to reevaluate their electrification strategy. Joining us for more is Petrina Gentile, an award-winning automotive journalist with the Globe and Mail. We are so glad you're here. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
We will get into the cars and the makes because we love hearing from you in terms of what's interesting. But big news, though, in the EV space that the duties on Chinese EVs getting into the U.S. have quadrupled to over 100%. Maybe just give us a sense of what do you think this is all going to mean for maybe the market and consumers as we look ahead?
Well, this is big news. It sort of levels the playing field for domestic automakers because if the market is flooded with cheap electric Chinese vehicles, consumers are going to buy those.
Yeah.
And that could potentially put other automakers out of business because they just can't compete with the prices they offer. You know, BYD, for example, in China, they have a car that's like $10,000 US. So Americans can't do that. So this sort of levels the playing field and prevents that flood of EVs coming to the market.
All right, we'll have to see if it actually takes, and if. But interesting to hear that. Although people are probably, I want that $10,000 EV that's coming in here, but that's a secondary conversation. Okay, let's talk a bit about what has. There's the fully EV market, and then there's hybrids, and we're seeing the hybrids. I think people thought they were going to go away at some point, and now they've kind of had a second breath, if you will, and they're coming back to market. So maybe talk about the kinds of hybrids that are out there.
Sure. Yeah, there are three kinds. So one's a mild hybrid, and it basically cannot drive on electric power alone. So basically, it will start in the electric mode. So you don't get a lot of fuel savings with that. With a full or conventional hybrid, you still have an internal combustion engine and you have electric motors. It can drive on the electric power alone, so it's a little bit more fuel efficient, and it's self-charging as you're driving.
Yeah.
And then you have a plug-in hybrid, which is like it sounds. You plug it into an outlet like you would, your cell phone to charge it up. And typically those have a range of between 30 kilometers and 70 kilometers. And once that electric power is gone, it reverts to the gas engine. Yeah. So you don't have range anxiety, which is sometimes you get with an all-electric vehicle.
Yeah, I think that's what always stops people from going electric is just the range anxiety, as you talked about. Let's talk about some interesting hybrids that are out there and ones that I know that you've been in. And you can talk about them firsthand. This one's the Toyota Land Cruiser.
Right, yeah, actually Toyota just a couple weeks ago took us to California to drive 5 new vehicles, and 4 of them were electrified, including this Land Cruiser. And very interesting, this was an iconic SUV for them. Came out in '58, it was discontinued in '89, and now it's back finally after 35 years. And it does have that hybrid powertrain. So it has a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine and a 48 horsepower electric motor, and it is really true to its roots. It's fun. You drive it off-road. I took it, rock crawling and going up steep hills, driving through water. It was really impressive, but a little expensive. Starts around $70,000. And if you get the first edition models, which are a limited edition model with 290 available in Canada, it's over $90,000.
It's only 290 available in Canada. Wow, that's not a lot. Toyota Camry hybrid for those who are maybe a little less adventurous on the rock climbing piece.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Toyota is really bucking the trend. Consumers want big SUVs, but they're like, we're still sticking to our sedans. This is our bread and butter. This is one of our best-selling cars. We sold over 8,500 of them in 2023, and we're going to continue to do so. So for 2025, completely redone. And again, it's a hybrid engine, very fuel efficient, about 5 liters per 100 kilometers combined.
So is it the full hybrid or is it the?
It is a conventional hybrid.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, a full hybrid. And the fuel economy, very good on that. And you can get it with all-wheel drive. And a decent starting price for the front-wheel drive model, around $34,000, which, as you know, the price of an average car is around $66,000.
Yeah.
So that comes in significantly less, which is nice.
Yeah, yeah. And part of the reason I'm sure it's one of their best sellers right there, so they're doing it. Then they've got the Tucson, and this is a plug-in hybrid.
Right, this is from Hyundai, and Hyundai has refreshed this, but they continued their plan, which is basically offering a gas version of this vehicle, a hybrid version, full hybrid, and then a plug-in hybrid version. So the plug-in is actually the quickest, the most powerful, and the most fuel efficient of the bunch. And you would charge it, you could charge it, it'll take maybe about 2.5 hours to charge. We don't know the exact range for 2025, but the current model is about 53 kilometers, so it'll probably be a little bit more than that for 2025. And then it also has a nice 8-year, 160,000 kilometer warranty on it for those hybrid parts, which gives you a little bit of peace of mind.
I wonder, and do you think people are starting to come around more to, like, some people want to stick to the gas because it's just like there's no range anxiety. Well, I mean, there's gas stations, right?
Yeah,
That's kind of,
yeah.
and until you have power stations, that's going to change. But are people starting to get the mentality maybe that they're getting used to having to manage the range side of things?
I think they are. I think with the hybrids, and it's interesting, you see car companies like General Motors switching their plans. They were like, we're doing all electric, and now all of a sudden they're doing, we're going to bring out some hybrids and plug-in hybrids because that's sort of the nice transition that people can get used to. Plugging in, but you still have that gas-powered engine that gives you that sense of security and comfort, and you don't have to worry about range anxiety.
All right, well, this is the fun one. Now, everybody has a hybrid. Ferrari has a hybrid. And you drove the Ferrari, did you not?
I did. This is the 296 GTB. It's their second plug-in hybrid. It has a V6 hybrid engine. And this V6, it's not a V12, it's not a V8 that they're known for, but it still has that beautiful sound. 25 kilometers of electric range, which isn't much. It's enough to start up the vehicle and leave your driveway in your neighborhood nice and quietly. And this was a cool program because I was brought there by Shell. And Shell and Ferrari have been together for the last 70 years. They've supplied all the fuel for their F1 vehicles, and now they're bringing a new fuel called V-Power Nitro Plus to Canada, and it has a lot of components of the racing fuel. So that's why we were driving this vehicle on the racetrack. So much fun to drive. It is powerful. It has over 800 horsepower. It can go 0 to 100 in less than 3 seconds, and we did it.
You did it?
Oh yeah, it was just unbelievable on the straightaways and doing it on Ferrari's home track. It was just such a blessing, but so much fun to drive. The steering was, as soon as you move the steering wheel a bit, it just follows your every mood. It can stop on a dime. An incredible vehicle, but very expensive, north of $325,000.
Yeah. So yeah, the hybrid Camry might be a little more in the budget of people. Pretend, make the noises while you're driving the hybrid Camry like a Ferrari. Petrina, thanks so much.
Thank you.
That is Petrina Gentile, automotive journalist with the Globe and Mail. And that's our show for tonight. Any comments or questions, or if you'd like to get in touch with an advisor, please email us at moneytalk@td.com. I'm Kim Parley. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again next week.